In this lesson, we'll look more in depth into the for and next loops. While we have looked previously at loops in general, the for next loop is a specific type of loop, which you'll want to use occasionally and find helpful due to its ability to having a flexible range and having an iterative variable that you can use in your execution portion of the loop. The first function of the for next loop we will look at is how to set the limits of the loop. Setting the limits of a for next loop involves two numeric values, the bottom value of where it starts and the top value of where it ends. The syntax of this can be found in our first example. Here, the loop starts with a 1 to 10. When we run this loop, we find that it iterates 10 times, as evidenced by the output of the counter. Notice too that the value of I grows with each cycle of the loop. The next function of the for next loop is the step. Stepping works exactly the way that you would expect. It allows you to step over numbers by a certain interval as dictated by the value that you place. Looking at this example, we find that we are stepping by 2. When we step through the code here, you can see that the value of I changes not by 1 at a time, but advances by 2. The last function that we'll look at is using dynamic variables in order to dictate the range of your loops. Oftentimes, you will not know exactly the number of times you will want your loop to function. If you find yourself with a dataset whose range is constantly changing, then you can use this type of loop to be able to find the upper and lower boundaries of your object, and it will change as it changes. This will save you time from having to constantly be changing the code every time your data that the loop is looking at changes. In the first example, we are looking at using the method which we had looked at previously, the lower bound and the upper bound functions. These allow VBA to look at the data being given and to create its own index regarding the number of values within the dataset. It is useful when looking at a range of values as the code is simple and effective. The second method we are using is the count function, which, while slightly more clunky, is equally as effective if you're looking to cross-reference a two-dimensional dataset and want to be able to use the columns and rows as reference material for your loop. The last example uses a string value as the reference, and we are counting the number of characters within the string. This method allows us to iterate through each individual character within the string instead of the whole dataset. You may find yourself using this when you're looking to adjust values that have data within the strings itself that you're looking to manipulate.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe from you. And if you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel, check out these videos above. And don't forget to check out our website, commercecurve.com, where we have lots of in-depth finance and accounting courses available with full training workbooks. All of our courses come with complete workbooks of lessons, examples, pre-built financial models, and training video. Hope to see you there.